Everyone, and welcome to this e-GMAT orientation. My name is Rajat Sadana. I'm one of the co-founders of e-GMAT, and I'm going to be a main host today. Along with me, I have a few members of my team. I have Sandeep, who handles the quant hiring for us. We have Suhaib, who handles the SEO hiring, and then we have Atul, who's managing the entire process. We also have a couple of other folks who are helping Atul manage the entire process. So in this orientation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline what e-GMAT's all about. What is it that we want to do? And then I'm going to outline the kind of values that we appreciate, and then we're going to talk about the entire hiring process and how we're going to go about doing that. Um, Overall, this orientation is going to be about 30 minutes, no longer than that, and then I'd appreciate any questions that you have. You can ask those questions, and we'll be happy to address those questions. But before we get started, if you haven't gone through the positions, you can click on opportunities at e-GMAT. If you haven't gone through this hiring, the post about our hiring process, what do we follow? You can really click on this over here. And then just to know a bit more detail about the company, the milestones in 2019 and innovations, those two are probably good videos for you to watch just to tell you the orientation of the company. So again, these are all on our YouTube channel. You guys can watch those post this orientation as well. All right. With that, we now are in what we call as the presentation pane. So what you should be seeing is a Q&A pod on top, and you should be seeing a presentation pod, as well as you should still be seeing my video. Since we have a few folks, I'm gonna ask, can everyone see the presentation? So has the presentation settled for everyone? So select yes if you guys can see the presentation, select no otherwise. And for that one person who's selected, now just join again, and the system should should start working for you. Okay, so with that, let me get started. I want to talk about this tagline that we have: empowering dreams, changing lives. So in e-GMAT, we are in the GMAT space, but the entire goal that we have is to make sure that, hey, if as our student you have a dream towards achieving getting into a certain business school, and if you're willing to put in the effort for it, we are there to help you get there. And I believe that that helping people, a business school is a life transforming experience, and essentially, I think based on the 50 or 1,000 students that we've helped get through this process, I think we've seen just so many transformations that with regards to what people were doing before and what they're doing next. So this is something that we really like. This is something that we live for, and when we wake up in the morning, this is something that we ask ourselves, hey, how can we do this better? So how do we go about doing this? So this statement over here, I think, is something which we truly imbibe. We want to build products, we want to build services, and the goal over here is to make the online medium of education more effective, and I emphasize more effective than working with a private tutor, and for people who are motivated. Again, we're not trying to really cover that part of the private tutoring part where a private tutor says go study, but if you are willing to put in the effort, we want to make sure that we can help you get to your target GMAT score, get to, once you have that GMAT score, get to your target business school in a manner which is way more effective, way more efficient than what you would otherwise get when you work with a private tutor. Okay, so that's something that that we want to get to. So with that, let's kind of talk a bit about how we all got started. So three of us, Payal, Abhi, and I, started this company or in September of 2010. It was when we started this organization, it was just Payal who was working on it full time. Abhi and I were part time on it. And again, we started it as a concept where we said, hey, can we be more effective than a classroom program then, just in the online world? And we gave ourselves a year where we said, if we can prove that we can be more effective than a classroom program, then Abhi and I would jump 100% into something like this. And since then, we've actually invested in 4 areas. We proved that we've invested in 4 core areas where right now we are way better than a classroom program, and we are approaching the effectiveness of working with a private tutor. So what are the 4 areas that we invest in? One is, building learning methods. So if you've been an e-GMAT student, or if you've seen any of the videos that webinars that we've created, what you're going to find is the way we approach a certain problem is very different from what typically people approach. And we do a lot of research building these methodologies. These methodologies are very fundamental based, and they're also they're also universally applicable, which means that everyone they're applicable on all possible question types, not just a particular set of questions that we're solving them for. The second area is personalization, personalizing your learning. When you have more than 50,000 students, each one of them has a different starting point. In fact, we consider a student as a set of about 30 different vectors, and those are starting vectors, and those are the vectors that we track. And so we personalize your learning where, hey, if you're starting at a 50th percentile in SC, you kind of go through a slightly different learning path than if you're starting at a 20th percentile, than if you're starting at an 80th percentile in SC. Okay. The third piece is feedback. So you make sure you start at the right point, but we also make sure that you get feedback while you're learning so that you're moving on the right path. If you're not, you also get the appropriate corrections over there. And the last area of investment that we have is building support services to make sure that people stay motivated and they realize their potential, because as learning online can be lonely, and we want to make sure that you maintain the same energy level throughout your preparation. Okay. So what have we achieved till date? And I think this chart actually is a sophisticated chart, but it tells you what we've achieved till date. So on the y-axis over here, what you really see is what we call as the degree of effectiveness. And the higher you go on y-axis, the more effective it is. And then the x-axis over here is the end cost per user, which means, and this is what the user pays. It's not our cost to serve. Our cost to serve is very different. So if you think about the various ways in which people study, you have books, you have traditional classroom, and you have a private tutor, and essentially there are different degrees of effectiveness, and that's why private tutoring is highest on y-axis, is also the most expensive. Traditional classroom is more effective than books, and books are the least effective. And this is more or less a logarithmic scale over here. Where we believe today, is very close to what a private tutor can achieve. And when we say effective, it's about the score improvement. It's about the amount of time it takes to get to that score improvement. And when you look at some of the other online courses out there, we believe even though they're in the same price point, their effectiveness based on the results that we've seen, it's less than half of what we've seen ours. Okay. So in this stage of hiring, I think what we are really doing is we are already much better than a classroom course, and we are investing in individuals or hiring individuals who can help us get to that better than a private tutor in about 12 to 15 months, because we believe that's the amount of time that we need to do to get there. And who are we hiring? We are hiring people who can help us get there. And now both these positions over here are those of individual contributors. So we're looking for people who really want to work hard, who are bright, logical thinkers. You may be a fresher, it doesn't matter to us, as long as you can prove to us that you are a logical thinker, as long as you can prove to us that you are hardworking and diligent, then you are the right individual for us. Anandi says, are you confident that you offer more personalization than a traditional classroom? Actually, that was what we were confident 3 years ago. Today, we blow up a classroom out of water. So yeah. So as a business, we've gone through 4 phases of evolution. One is, the first, as I said, where Payal started this business technically, and Abhi and I were in the support role, and our question was, can we be better than a classroom for a majority of the population? And essentially the 3 questions that we asked, we said, hey, can we deliver better results than a classroom or books? Can we do it for a good chunk of the population? And can we make money while doing that? Which means, can we do it without really a ton of support for our students? Because ultimately making money allows us to to really invest again in these products and services. Then, and this is something that we did only with a partial GMAT offering. We didn't even have a full GMAT offering in the first year, by the way. We only had about 40% of the GMAT offering. Then we built a complete product, and where we actually offered the entire GMAT course. We added live sessions. We actually added a practice platform. Then we started investing in actually building the entire technology from grounds up. So when you log into e-GMAT, everything that you see has been written by e-GMAT engineers. Every line or every word that you really hear and read is actually written by e-GMAT experts. So we build our own technology. We of course have our own support teams. We also create everything on our own. Okay. And this is in this third phase. We moved from an open source to an in-house LMS. We actually create AI-driven study planners. We actually started giving that personalized feedback and making sure that we automated course correction for students. And in this phase, we are building the next phase of personalization. We are adding services on top of it. And again, some of these things that you can read over there. Okay. So some of you have been asking about whether it's more effective than a traditional classroom. You can really see some of this part over here. We are a profitable company. I mean, we've been profitable since year 3. And again, our employees today own more money. We did take some money early on in our evolution. That money still is in the bank. And our employees today own more equity than investors do. And we're very proud of that. If you go and look at GMAT left, 4 out of top 5 rated instructors are from e-GMAT. Okay, actually the fifth guy is not even in this business to that degree. If you look at our reviews online, we have more reviews than Manhattan, Veritas, and Kaplan's of the world. Again, similar thing with success stories, and with regards to our conversion rate from registered users to paying students, one of the highest conversion rate, which also helps us be more profitable. Okay. In terms of the departments that we have, we're a fairly flat hierarchy where we have an executive team and we have the 3 founders that we have, and essentially we have about 7 departments that report to either the founders or the executive team themselves. SME is subject matter. Under SME we have quant and verbal. Technology we have front and back end. We have an e-learning department that also doubles as our design team, by the way. We have an SEO department. We have an inbound and an outbound sales. We have marketing. And then we have customer success, which is customer support and GMAT strategy. So 7 departments, but each one of the individuals who works in these departments actually has a straight line to us as founders. They basically work with us in some capacity or the other, depending on the projects that they're doing. In terms of our offices, some of you have been asking, we have 2 offices. Actually, these numbers have changed since we started doing this hiring. But essentially right now, I think I'd say we'll probably in about another week or so have about 12 odd people in Bangalore, and Delhi will have about, I think about 30 odd folks over there. So 2 offices over here, 2 in the US. So Pyle and I actually work out of the US. So and again, what our typical office hours, it's normal hours that you work in IST. So 9 a.m. plus minus an hour to 6 p.m. is what people typically work. So last slide for about e-GMAT, and then I think we'll go into the specific JDs overall. So there are 4 behaviors that we look at. As I said, we're looking for people who are diligent, people who have a logical mindset. So what does that translate into? So diligence translate into this first behavior, which is initiative. Now at e-GMAT, we're a very data-driven company. We measure everything. And because we measure everything, you as an individual, you are exposed to a lot of information which you can act upon. And if you can figure out problems and take measures without being asked to do so, that's a behavior that we value a lot. Okay. The second piece is methodical. To grow, you've got to do new things. When you do new things, you've got to figure out how are you going to approach that. And so the ability to to really look at a problem statement and create a process where you can say, this is how I'm going to approach, this is what I'm going to make sure that how I'm going to validate that I'm moving in the right direction, is something, again, that we value a lot. The third behavior that we value is leadership, where you don't just take yourself along, but you also take people along with you to push the envelope. You enhance their skills. And the fourth one is the execution, which is, hey, once you have a process set up for you, you execute it, you improve upon it, you make it more efficient, and that's another. I mean, we evaluate you on each of these four behaviors. Again, the employee traits, I think these ones are essentially fairly, I think, easy to understand once you look at the behaviors. Diligence. So one thing that I want to mention over here is, we don't track your hours, we track your output, and essentially we don't want people working at e-GMAT who we have to worry about, is that person working, is that person making taking advantage of the flexibility that we provide. Also, we look for people who are lifelong learners. As a startup or as a company that's growing, uh, you always need to do new things, and you need to have that attitude of learning new things rather. And the last piece is team oriented. That's something that we really focus on a lot. So let's get to the roles right now, and so I'm going to talk about the two roles that we have today. And as I said, each one of these is for an individual contributor. So freshers are welcome to apply as well. So at a very high level, what's the overall process that we have? So we have typically a 4 to 5 stage process. You apply for a role. We give you an assignment. Uh, Sometimes we ask you for an additional assignment if we are not super sure after assignment number 1, we ask for assignment number 2. Again, we want to make sure that you're the right individual for us. If you are, we don't want to reject you. And then typically, we used to have a recruitment day, but right now what we are doing is we do a couple of rounds of interview, and then after that you get an initial offer, and then we do a final job offer after a background check. Now, a quick yes, no over here. How many of you received the assignment? So this is for post your application. Okay, about 80%. If you've not received the assignment, A, it either is in your inbox, or B, if you've applied in the last 48 hours, it should be in your inbox in the next 24 hours. If it's not, then then essentially you should just write back to careers@e-gmat.com, or write to me at rajat@e-gmat.com, and then we'll get the assignment to you. But it should be there within 48 to 72 hours of you applying. Okay, Himanshu, thank you. Himanshu said, please make sure that people check their trash folders. For him, the assignment somehow landed over there. Okay. With that, I'm going to talk about Quant SME. I'm going to briefly talk about this, and then Sandeep is going to elaborate on that. Let's make sure Sandeep's here. Yes. So on the Quant SME side, there are essentially 4 responsibilities that an SME would have, or a subject matter expert. One is to make sure that our students are successful, so work with them, coach them to make sure that they're successful. A lot of the learning happens happens online on the e-GMAT platform, so creating learning modules is another piece. The third piece is to make sure, as you're interacting with students on various through various forms, that you focus on how you're going about doing that. How can you leverage data to enhance our work processes, which is the SMEs, as well as students' work processes. And then the last piece, I think, is fairly simple. Sandeep, do you want to just enable your microphone and talk about the recruitment process and move?
Yes, Rajat. Can you hear me?
Sandeep.
Hello. Okay. So I'll just give you a brief overview on the assignment for the Quant SME hiring process. So in this, the two main important things that we are looking for is the methodical thought process of the candidate and also the process skills, such as drawing inferences while solving any question or as you can see, translating and visualizing the information in form of diagrams or any visual aids. And there will be many constraints that will be given to you in the questions if you have seen solving questions in GMAT or any other competitive exam. So you need to know where to apply that constraint and how to arrive at the final answer. And obviously there will be many questions where you need to simplify the equations and all. So these are all the process skills that a quant SME should must possess. So these are the main skills. So to test these skills, we have divided first assignment into two parts. The first part contains a quiz, and the second part you need to write a detailed solution of the 6 questions that we provide in that. And all these 6 questions are on number properties topic. And all the questions in the quiz are also related to these 6 questions. So, and when you write when you write the detailed solutions of these 6 questions, the things that we look for in these solutions is we are not worried about whether you get to the right answer or not. The main thing is how you're going to approach the solution. I mean, how you connect every step, and whether you're following the procedure uh, that enables a student to understand it properly. Because a person who buys our product, when he looks at the solution, he needs to understand what's going on in that and all. So you need to follow a methodical approach from the beginning of the solution till the end where you get to the answer. And again, an application of process skills is the key thing. As I said, there are 5 skills that a quant SME should possess: inferences, translation, visualization, applying constraints, and simplification. And and also the assignment should be done in a proper with a proper formatting and presentation. So these are the main things regarding the assignment.
Thanks a lot. So essentially, it's as much. I mean, you can be the world's best math guy and still falter on this if you don't explain your work really well in a logical fashion. And you can be a really good quant guy and ace this assignment if you do all of those other things. Okay. So one other thing. So with regards to this, in terms of the hiring process, I want to talk about that. So you get the assignment, you submit the assignment, and I know some of you have submitted the assignment, so you should be hearing about it fairly soon. And then post that, you have an interview with Sandeep and someone else within the company, and then post that you actually have an interview with Payal and I. So I think it's a fairly flat process. It's completely driven by you. The sooner you submit the assignment, the sooner you get evaluated, the sooner you have the interviews. Okay. So Sohaib, thank you, Sandeep. And Sohaib, you want to talk about the SEO manager piece?
Well, yes, Rajat, I'll continue with the SEO manager piece. I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, let me start. Yes. So the job of an SEO manager, so the goal is to increase the search visibility, thereby increasing the search traffic. It's fairly simple. So you have to make sure that the website, that e-GMAT.com, is on the top of any on the related search queries, and so that we can get more traffic. So the key responsibilities that we have, sorry for the typo, so it's keywords analysis. The first thing is keyword analysis. Keywords are there are two most important aspects of any SEO activity. One is the content, and the second that the keywords that you optimize them on. That is why keyword analysis is the first step that you perform. So you have to perform a detailed keyword research, by considering the existing SEO reach, and then you have to do a comparative benchmarking, and analyze search volumes to arrive, to make sure you get maximum traffic as possible. The second job is content creation. I know there are queries that content creator, that most people are not content writers. The difference is what we are looking for is just a basic understanding of content. That is why the assignment is based on content, because content is the bedrock of any SEO activity. And that is why what we need, because we have a few agencies that write content for us. We also have a few guest writers who write content for us, but we can't give them correct feedback if we don't know the nuances of content ourselves. Because and we worked on SEO from scratch. That is, and whatever that you see on the SEO website has been done from scratch. Regarding to content, the optimization of URLs, the titles, and all the elements that are present in the page. But it's all based on content, and and basic understanding of content is what we are seeking. And that is why content creation is one of the key responsibilities. And the third responsibility is optimization reporting. So we engage in on-page and off-page optimization projects, and the most important thing is tracking.
So I think you're using the internal mic of the laptop. Can you see that you use the right mic? Can you check that?
Yeah, let me just see. Is there a lot of disturbance?
Yeah, there's a lot of yeah. I think the bass is missing in this. The voice is not as rich as I would expect it to be.
Okay.
Okay, and
so is it fine now? Better?
I think why don't you carry on speaking, and then we'll get to know.
Okay. Yeah. So as I was talking, so the third part is optimization reporting. So tracking what we are working on is very important. So and updating is a very important part of any SEO activity. That is why we a basic understanding of the tools that we use are Google Analytics. We also use Kissmetrics and SEMrush for the SEO activities. If you have a basic understanding of these tools, that is fine. Even if you don't, I mean, it will not be, we won't put that against you. So these are the basic, responsibilities that you will have to for the SEO manager. So the process is fairly simple. So there is an assignment. You complete that assignment. Based on what you have done in the assignment, we'll call you for an interview. So there could be one interview, there could be more than one interview. If we feel we are satisfied with your performance, then we give you a job offer. Yeah. So let me give you an overview of the assignment. So as I had said earlier, so content is the most important part of any SEO strategy, and therefore what we want to test is a basic writing ability and good research skills, because the quoting the right sources is very important. To assess this quality, we have given you two topics. So two topics are related to GMAT and MBA admissions, and the big purpose is to understand how you could, how well you were able to structure the content, because structure is very important, and how well you can research. So that is why the content that you will write should be well researched, and it should be structured, and it should make logical sense. Should be engaging. Engagement is a very important metric when it comes to ranking on Google. Also, don't forget to add your flair to the content. Every writer has a style of writing. There is no correct way. Also, you may choose to change the title. It's not that you have to write on this particular title. You can choose the title of the article based on the keywords that you want to optimize them on. That is what I meant to say is that if keyword research is an important part of this assignment. So try and do a basic keyword research when you write these articles. Just one advice from me: please do not engage in plagiarism. Plagiarism is the first thing that we check, and if we find plagiarized content in your assignment, then we'll reject that assignment, because duplicate content doesn't get ranked on Google. So this is the assignment, the SEO assignment overview.
A couple other things, and thank you, Say, for this. So first thing which is there is that, and I was actually just looking at the traffic overall. We started the e-GMAT content group team as this group. We started this about a year and a half back, uh, and so since then the traffic that we've had, that traffic has gone up close to 6 times. So right now we are hitting what, close to 150,000 entrances on a monthly basis. In these are unique entrances, and this is high quality traffic that we get. And this number earlier was a lot less. The second thing that I want to talk about is that uh, that you don't need to be an SEO expert to be hired for this, but you need to be a good logical thinker to be hired for this. We do train you on aspects of SEO. Okay. Um, the third question was, how many words do you write on a daily basis? So that depends on what we are doing, but I mean, it's not crazy amount of words. It's something which is fairly manageable overall. So with that, I think that's pretty much everything that we had for today. How much time to send the assignment? Each one of you has a deadline assigned to you based on when you got the assignment, and yeah. So some of you have been asking about the CTC bracket. It's all mentioned in the job description. You know, you guys can go take a look at the JD. I can actually send you the link to our careers page. So which you can go and look at it. Here is the link to the careers page. So Abhishek says SME will take online sessions or and also involved in content development. That is correct. That's Abhishek, and the live sessions will be live. This is a live session that I'm hosting right now, and all of us are there. With regards to the amount of GMAT traffic that we get, if you look at the world of GMAT and MBA, after GMAT Club, we have the most traffic in the industry. And if you wanted to really just do the benchmarking, go to SimilarWeb and you can type on various sites and you're going to find each. We get about, I think, 4.5 to 5 million page views on a monthly basis. Okay, let's just see if there's any other question. How many SEO manager posts? I think we're looking at 2 to 3 people over here. So okay, Aditya says thought process for assignment 1 for Quant SME. Okay, that's a great question. Actually, 3 things that we look for. One is, do you know your math? Second is, can you explain it well? And then the third is, can you explain it in a scalable fashion? That's the thought process. Yes, this is in-office work. This is not work from home. No. Let me just make sure I close out. If you applied for director of SME, that's a position that I think we are just about to close. So Quant SME is what we are actively looking for. So yeah. So Nikhil, you probably will not get the assignment for director of SME. When are the interviews scheduled in Bangalore? So the interviews are scheduled actually asynchronously, which means if we like your assignment, you're invited for an interview right away. For example, for a couple of Quant, we got about 25 odd submissions for Quant. We liked a couple of folks, and we'll be scheduling interviews with them, on Wednesday onwards. So, what's the work location in Bangalore? It's 91 Springboard, JP Nagar. Is it necessary to replicate the same process as solving as the examples? Not 100%, but whatever process that you really do for the Quant SME assignment, it has to be logical. And yeah. What's our office location in New Delhi? It's in South Delhi. It's in a place called Jangpura. So if you've seen the Ross Cinema Hall, it's right next to that. So in fact, if you Google the e-GMAT office, you'd probably get to it. Will the interview be conducted on Skype? It will be conducted using Zoom. Skype is actually not as reliable. So it's a tool called Zoom. It's the world's largest video conferencing service. Are there openings in verbal SME? If you, we are always looking for good and smart people. So if you'd rather apply for verbal SME, I would recommend that you apply for it online and essentially send a cover letter to us saying why is it that you're very passionate about that verbal SME position, and there have been exceptions that we've made for out of cycle hiring if you find someone's truly is very good, very passionate about it. How many openings for Quant SME? At least 3 openings for Quant SME are there. And again, the interviews are online. So one set of interviews are online. Okay, I think I also have the PDF. Or so hey, can we do a PDF for this presentation so that these guys can download the same? So actually, if you guys want to stay back for like another minute or so, I can share the PDF with you. We should have actually done that. Okay. Now, if you want to apply for verbal SME, you can write to rajat@e-gmat.com and with a cover letter as to why you're passionate about that verbal SME position, and we'd be happy to consider your case. So okay, and I think we have the PDF right now. Let me. Here's the PDF you guys can download. The SME positions are both Delhi and Bangalore. I mean, we don't care which location you choose. So we are completely agnostic. All right, guys. With that, thank you very much, and I wish you good luck. I will look forward to your assignment submissions. Bye bye.